Hello my dear friends, and welcome back to another Star Wars news update. In today's video we're going to be talking about the Book of Boba Fett and more. Before we dive into it my dear friends, as always please be sure to hit that big red subscribe button down below if you've not done so, and also be sure to give that bell a good old tickle to be alerted every single time I post a new video. I also just want to say that the holiday season is upon us, and I know it's not even Halloween yet, but Christmas and subsequently the Book of Boba Fett are drawing near, and this year I'm feeling pretty festive. So right now I'm in the process of setting up a new merch store, and there are going to be plenty of Star Wars Christmassy designs to choose from. And also along the same lines, over the next few weeks I'm going to be posting more wintry mixes over on my second channel, Meg's Cantina. But enough jibber jabber, let's talk about the Book of Boba Fett. For once my dear friends, we don't have to be sad when Christmas is over, because 4 days later and 3 days after Boxing Day we get the Book of Boba Fett. What an amazing treat, and I really can't wait for it. So earlier in the year Temuera Morrison said that the Book of Boba is going to be full of flashbacks showing us where Boba's been and where he's going. In terms of where we are in The Mandalorian, a massive part of Boba's recent past is the escape from the Sarlacc Pit, and of course his temporary integration into Tusken society. When he first reappeared in The Mandalorian Season 2 Chapter 9, he had the rogue Tusken look because he was after his armor, while new production leaks are teasing that we're going to be getting more Tusken Boba in flashbacks, with one sequence of him riding a bantha. This is from Production Treasures and comes to us courtesy of the Boba Fett fan club. Those guys are amazing, I'm a member myself, so a big shout out to them. So check this out my dear friends, we have a bunch of production merch with a lot of very fun details. The main thing to note is the black t-shirt in the middle. We see Boba in his Tusken attire riding a bantha. Now on this t-shirt he does have his helmet, which doesn't make any logical sense in flashbacks because he wouldn't have found it yet, but that may have just been included for this t-shirt design to let you know that it is in fact Boba. But it does seem to suggest that we could be getting more backstory to how he ended up where he did in Chapter 9. We need to learn not only how he escaped the Sarlacc Pit, but also how he ended up adopting Tusken clothing with a gaffy stick. It looks like the Book of Boba Fett is going to answer that, and I would theorize that the Tusken Raiders helped to nurse Boba Fett back to health after he escaped the Sarlacc. And afterwards, until The Mandalorian Season 2, he kept a low profile for a while and integrated into the Tusken culture. So apart from this one, we also have some other goodies on this promotional, and one that I want to look at is the writing on the Fennec badge. It says the Book of Boba Fett Season 1. Now we've seen this kind of thing before in previous production leaks, and while many of us assumed it's just how the production teams differentiate various series, it could signify that Robert Rodriguez has a second season planned. Now I've heard a couple of things over the last few weeks which I cannot be too explicit about, but it does seem like Lucasfilm want to see how successful the Book of Boba Fett ends up being, and if it does do well then they are probably going to renew it for a second season. Even without this information, it is likely that we're going to get 2 seasons of Boba because it was not announced as a mini-series, and the same goes for Andor, which we do know is going to have more than one. But when you look at a series like the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, it is in fact a mini-series, but the Book of Boba Fett could easily have 2. So now my dear friends, we're going to stay on the subject of the Book of Boba Fett, but talk about Temuera Morrison and some new details. In an interview where he talked about his role in Aquaman 2, he also revealed that he does his own stunts, and this applies to the Book of Boba Fett. Now while there are a couple of stuntmen for the Book of Boba Fett, Temuera Morrison likely did a lot more of his own stunts than other actors would. Now this is great news because it means that we're going to be getting a lot more Temuera Morrison than just when he takes his helmet off. So finally my dear Megalorians, we're going to be talking about the Ahsoka series. We spoke about it yesterday after the Skywalker Academy t-shirt was leaked, but today I came across an article which is really a hot take. Now I just want to say flat out that I very much disagree with this article, but it is worth highlighting and talking about. So basically they think the Ahsoka series should take us to Exegol and set up a new trilogy. Now the reason I disagree with this is because I think the Ahsoka series is very much going to continue the story of Rebels and also connect Heir to the Empire and the Zahn trilogy. As I've spoken about many times on the channel, they are already showing us they are willing to expand on the EU and bring some of those elements into canon. We'll see it in The Mandalorian Season 3, we've seen it in the Bad Batch season finale, and we're also going to see it in the Ahsoka series because Grand Admiral Thrawn is back, and so his story is going to be continued. And really, because we know Ezra Bridger and Sabine Wren are going to be in Ahsoka, the story is trying to connect Star Wars Rebels to this Mandoverse. I very much doubt we're going to see Exegol or anything from the sequel trilogy, and I don't think that's the route Dave Filoni is going to go in. But every now and then it is healthy to challenge your own views, so let's see what this article has to say, even though I disagree with it. To the author of this article's credit, he does mention the Thrawn trilogy, but I don't like them tying in Exegol because it does seem like Disney have their own plans for expanding upon that story. story. It's not that I have an issue with Exegol, I just really want them to explore that in relation to Snoke and Palpatine's contingency plan before the Rise of Skywalker, which we probably are going to see in other series, but I don't think the Ahsoka series is right for that. So this article says, Thrawn returned to Star Wars canon in later seasons of Rebels, which ended in Thrawn and Ezra Bridger jumping into the void of hyperspace. It's assumed that the two ended up in the unknown regions, and with Thrawn and Ezra returning in Star Wars Ahsoka, it makes sense that Ahsoka will venture there to find them. This bears massive potential due to the fact that the unknown regions are home to both the Rise of Skywalker's Exegol and Thrawn's people, the Chiss. While Exegol was given context in a comic where Darth Vader discovers Palpatine's hidden base and deadly Star Destroyers, to wider audiences the planet remains a jarring plot hole in the Rise of Skywalker. Ahsoka can help remedy this due to the connection Thrawn has with the planet. In Timothy Zahn's novel Thrawn Ascendancy Chaos Rising, Thrawn helps Palpatine understand the unknown regions and by implication find Exegol. Now I do think they've made a little bit of a leap here, because while Thrawn did help Palpatine understand the unknown regions, it's not explicitly stated if he helped him find Exegol. Exegol is one of many box systems in the unknown regions, most of which the Chiss have identified. Now Thrawn and the other Chiss are very aware of the unknown regions, meaning that Ahsoka could plausibly come across hints of Exegol's existence on the hunt for Grand Admiral Thrawn. Now one of the reasons I personally don't think we are going to see Exegol is it would be currently occupied by the Sith Eternal. They go on to say that journey to Exegol would not only work for Ahsoka's journey, but the entire franchise's future. While it's possible that Star Wars Episode 10 will introduce the Yuuzhan Vong, again a massive leap here I don't agree with, Ahsoka could easily pave the way for the Chiss to be Star Wars' new antagonist instead. Now I do agree with this to some extent. They're making massive leaps to do with Exegol, the Rise of Skywalker and a future trilogy. I don't think that's the route Dave Filoni wants to take, especially with the majority of the future of Star Wars being for Disney+. Now I definitely think the Ahsoka series is going to make some connections to other aspects of the Star Wars universe, but this route seems the least likely. I could be wrong and I'm just giving my own opinion, but Filoni wants to create a coherent world centered around the Mandalorian, which will of course eventually connect to the sequels, but as I say, this is not the way he seems to want to do it. But am I wrong, guys? Let me know your thoughts of this in the comments down below. Do you think Ahsoka will take us to Exegol, or are they going to take a completely different route? I'd love to hear your fan theories and your thoughts on this in the comments below, and what did you make of everything we spoke about in today's video, the Book of Boba Fett and more. If you enjoyed it, show me some love with a big fat thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're brand new and a massive welcome if you are, and also if you're feeling generous, why not consider becoming a patron? The link is down there in the description. But otherwise, my dear friends, I'm Star Wars Meg and I'm wishing you a phenomenal rest of the day, no matter where you dwell in the galaxy. May the Force be with you, and I'll see you tomorrow.